Hey guys, it's Drac doing the mod tutorial for the Vigilon now. I like this blaster a lot, but sometimes the priming mech jams and I have to flip that jam release switch to get it to load even when there's a dart. I don't know why I can't dry fire this because it's not a plunger tube, it's kind of a launch sled. So I'm going to start taking it apart, looking at some of the safety features and seeing what I can do to mod this. All the screws are on this side and I'm going to start from there. Alright, so you guys can see here that I've finished removing all the screws from the Vigilon. There are two screws that are this size and they just have smaller heads. They go here and you'll need a different size screwdriver to get those out. After you do that, it comes apart in layers. First, the three behind here remove, and you can remove the priming mech entirely. Once you remove the priming mech, there's one screw hidden in there. You'll notice that this sight on the priming mech is an entirely different piece. That'll be cool for paint jobs. The blaster itself opens up into two halves like you'd expect when you're opening it. This shoots down because it's got its built-in spring to decompress it there. Inside the blaster itself, you can see how the clip works and how it feeds darts and how it's got a safety feature built into it so that it cannot be primed without a dart, and it's got another safety feature here so that it cannot be primed without the other half of the blaster. You can work around that, and I can show you how this works. Over here, you cannot minimize this by removing this because this is actually how the blaster fires. I like to call it a disc sled launch system. I can't think of a better way to describe it, but it's got a torsion spring in here that pulls back a plastic piece. Now that plastic piece fits inside the dart and then uses that to launch it through the sled, which is inside here and out the barrel. I'll show you how it works now. I come in and I press this down just so I can get it past there, shoot it jammed, which means I have to come over and flip that switch. Let's try that again. Okay. You pull it back, it chambers the disc in there. After it chambers it, you can see that this has been pulled back now. This clear piece is now up underneath where the disc is going to go. The sled comes forward. The dart is now loaded into the tray right around here, and it's under this piece. Now when I flip it, you can see that the torsion spring is released from its catch, which looks like this is the catch mechanism, and the disc is fired. The spring depresses one of these catch springs. It's a very interesting blaster, and it's going to be really hard to mod because I can't get a more powerful torsion spring. The only thing I'm going to be able to do, I think, is remove some of the safety features and hopefully make it fire smoother. It's very, very complex. It's like Nerf is making these blasters more difficult so that I have a harder job. I'm going to start taking apart the layers this thing has in it, and I'll show you what it looks like as I remove pieces. Also, when I took it apart the first time, this piece flew out. I have no idea where this goes. The blaster works fine without it, and I wish I knew what this was. Alright, so at this point I am reasonably sure that I've removed all the safety locks. Again, I don't know what this piece is, so I'm not putting it back in. This is part of the safety mech that makes sure you have a dart in the clip in order to prime it. These are both trigger locks. They both come from in here. There are two circular wells. I removed both of those. There's another piece here that fits in there that prevents you from priming it, so I guess I'll call it a priming lock that I removed. And both of those pieces came from up top in this tray, and I just removed them with pliers. Anyway, now I can prime the blaster without having a disc in, as well as dry fire it if I wish. I don't know if dry firing can hurt these blasters. I'm not sure how much resistance those discs actually provide. Again, I really wish I could find a torsion spring to upgrade that feature, but I can't. So I'm going to start putting this back together. The only other thing I want to mention real quick is that this piece fell out in mine, and it took me a while to figure out where it went, but it goes on here and slides in like that, and it holds the darts in, not darts, discs in while they're chambered. Alright, I'm going to start putting it back together, and I guess I'll show you how and if it functions once it's done. Alright guys, the Vigilon's mod is done. I wish that I could have done more with this performance-wise with the torsion spring, but these new springs are going to be a real pain to work around. I've also figured out a way to remove the need to use this crazy jam release, which is a real pain. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're firing it and it jams and it won't let you prime the blaster, being able to just pull the trigger to unjam it instead of using this switch is a lot faster. I've also figured out the maximum capacity for this blaster is 7 darts total. I'm putting 3 in now, priming it to chamber 1, and then I'm going to put in another 6 into the clip. It fits 6 darts very easily, and with that new way to undo jams, I can get through this clip very quickly and efficiently. As you can tell, I can now dry fire the blaster. I don't know why you'd want to, but it's just I've removed the slide lock so I can prime it without a dart, and I removed the trigger lock so I can shoot it without having a dart. It's interesting. If anybody can come up with better mod ideas for this, I couldn't do any sort of size reduction because there's really no way to take this off, which is what I wanted to do originally. I would appreciate you guys' ideas in the comment section below, and I'll be doing the Proton next and removing some of its locks. That's really all I can think of to do with these Vortex blasters is remove the locks, and it's driving me crazy. Thanks for watching.